What's up, party people? Happy Thanksgiving from the UCSS crew. Adam the Bull, G. Bush, Jay Crawford, and McNuggets here. I'm back in Jersey. Everyone else is in Ohio, so we're doing this show on remote. Jay, can you hear us yet? We're going to troubleshoot your stuff live on the fly. Getting a thumbs up.
We can't hear Jay.
You can't hear Jay, though.
He must be muted. Are you muted? He's
Jay,
hearing us.
Hey, this is the beauty of internet.
What was that?
Jay must have hit something. Jay, you going to hit the little settings gear?
I'm sorry. I hit my board on accident.
Oh, that was G.
I do have hotkeys over there. I'm sorry.
Now we got Jay's house.
Yeah,
you can see his house. Look at that. House. Is that a pool table right there?
It looks like a pool table. When we get together in a couple of weeks, I'm going to kick all your guys' butts at pool. We already got a couple people in here. Eddie, Marcus, happy day after Thanksgiving to you guys. Hopefully you're taking the advice of one Jay Crawford and making some Thanksgiving leftover sandwiches. It is the best part of Thanksgiving. We're going to talk Browns, Bucs, Ohio State, Michigan. Tyvis is going to join us in a little bit. We will get Jay's microphone working live on the air at some point. We can promise you that. Evan 419, good morning to you as well. Well, let's start with this. Bull, you're the turkey truther. I heard a little rumor, a little birdie that you actually may have had turkey last night, though.
No, not last night. I told you Wednesday night. So here's what I did. So it really was just coincidental that it was Thanksgiving. But I do like turkey thighs. I just don't like the rest of the turkey. So my wife bought turkey thighs, and we did have them for dinner Wednesday night. And we did have one leftover, so I actually did have it for lunch yesterday. But technically our Thanksgiving dinner was prime rib, tater tots,
dope,
stuffing. There was like a sweet potato thing. I don't eat sweet potatoes. My wife had that. String beans. And so it was a good meal. But technically, yes, I did have some turkey on Thanksgiving. I had a delicious turkey thigh.
G. Bush, how was your Thanksgiving?
Hey man, it was beautiful, man. I was explaining to y'all like the protocol. So my mom got 7 brothers and sisters. My dad got 11 brothers and sisters. So my uncle actually owns a barbershop. It's like one of the biggest barbershops in Canton. And they have they build it from the ground up. So they have this really large like venue, like finished basement type thing in the barbershop. And so when it gets really packed, that's our overflow place. So this was the first time that we got together since probably COVID. So it was a lot of people there. And so all of my family members came from out of town.
How many first cousins do you have, Gene?
Thousands.
Seriously, first cousins.
So I want to say there's probably over 100. 100 first cousins.
I mean, what your parents have 16 siblings, so
yeah, over 100.
That's wild.
On average, they have about two and a half kids. Like everybody got about 2.5 kids, right?
All right.
And then the second cousins is out of control too.
How many people were at your Thanksgiving meal yesterday, in particular?
Over my mom's house, it was a little shorter. It was probably maybe 20. You know what I'm saying? But then we go to our in-laws' house. And then that was like, I don't know, maybe, I want to say 50 at one, 70 at the other.
Oh, my God. That's a lot of food.
Next family question. Is everyone massive like you? Or is the rest of your family normal size?
No, I'm the anomaly. My brother.
Well, your brothers are both big.
My brothers, both of them are really huge. But my uncles are pretty tall, but they're tall and skinny. Like my uncles are.
Well, your dad's not that big a guy.
No, my dad is shorter. So
yeah.
All my uncles are built like older Tristan McKenzie's. Like, yeah, like they all tall. They're all like 6'2", 6'3". Some of them play basketball. But yeah, my cousin played. Well, let me take that back. My cousin played linebacker in Indiana. My other cousin who was there, he played wide receiver at Notre Dame, not Notre Dame, but Boston College. He actually scored 2 touchdowns against Boston College when they beat him. Shout out to Glenn Foley.
There you go.
Yeah. So
we have Jay joining us from his.
Did we get Jay?
Can we hear Jay's the question? Jay, what's up, my man?
I don't think so.
No. You know, Jay had a guy come set his stuff up last night. You know how rich people do. Hey, I need some. Just come over. I have a tech guy. He's gonna come set everything up, put his Wi-Fi in and everything.
By the way, folks, and G, this is McNugget's childhood room, right?
This is the house. My parents' box closet. They're downstairs watching right now. They're me for doing this, but I could touch the walls from side to side with each arm if I was to stand up into a room. Y'all want to see? Actually, I got my 6th grade yearbook. You want to?
Yeah, we definitely want to see that.
See if I can find it.
Let's see it. What did you have for Thanksgiving? Just your brother and your sister and your parents?
My sister's in. Oh, real quick, this is 6th grade McNuggets here. I was fly as can be.
Wow.
You never seen a flyer better than that.
Oh my! You had the straight buzz cut.
Your pants look like velour or something. What's going on with your pants?
I think those are just sweatpants back in the day. Probably some shiny silver sweatpants. Nothing. Style was never my thing. No, I had my cousins over yesterday, Bull. It was me, my brother, my parents, my grandparents, and then we have cousins that live about an hour away. They came down. So about 10 people.
So your sister wasn't there?
She's in Germany, so it's tough to get back.
Oh wow!
From Germany, obviously. Damn. So she'll be back for Christmas. Did not come back for. Did not come back.
Is her like husband in the military, or is she in the military or something?
No, funny story. She met a German guy in college, and when they finished college, he stayed in the States for a few years, and then his visa ran out, and he moved back to Germany, and she just was wrapping up her dancing career, so she said, "Screw it, I'll move to Germany." She was a professional ballerina for a few years. Yeah.
These
McNuggets
guys.
used to go to all these ballerina events. He loved it. It was the most fun thing he ever did as a kid.
That's kind of dope. That's a dope little story, man.
She was the real athlete in the family. So shout out Becca. She's definitely not watching, but if she was, she'll appreciate that. But yeah, we'll work on getting Jay in here, guys. That is, for a guy who's done everything. He did remote shows at Channel 3 for 10 years.
Yeah.
It seems like during COVID, he can't figure out how to get on Restream. But we love Jay. If you guys go to his house for post-game tomorrow, y'all better figure this out for him. Or else it'll just be me and Tyvis on the post-game show.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll get
I'm rethinking it now. Like, I might have to go home.
I can't believe y'all are doing this the one weekend I'm not in Ohio, by the way. That hurts.
So fly back tonight.
I'm going to New York City with my brother tomorrow, and I'm very excited for that. So
I'm not doing that.
I can figure out how, maybe, but
it's not that important.
But let's we're gonna get to plenty of Ohio State, Michigan stuff with Tyvis in a little bit. But let us start with our final Browns Buccaneers preview. The lines moved all around. It's at 3 points now, which seems a little auspicious considering you have a team 5-5 in first place versus the Cleveland Browns, which have been a dumpster fire of late. Bull, what's your general feeling heading into this game? It's Brissett's last start. Are you feeling good about the Browns' chances, or do you think Brady and the Bucs are kind of catching fire?
I think the game's a toss-up. No, I don't think, and not because the Browns are playing all that well. I mean, first of all, as we know, by the way, I didn't do them on the show, but on my podcast, I do my football. I pick all the games, and went 3-0 versus the spread on the Thursday football games. Nice. I had the Lions with the points. I had the Giants with the points. They covered barely. And then I had the Vikings last night. I feel like, listen, I think it's gonna be a close game, toss up. I don't buy the Tampa Bay's all that much better than they were early in the year. They've won 2 in a row, yes, but it took a last second crazy drive to win 2 games ago. And then last week they won. I don't even remember who they played last week. Who they played? Do you remember?
They were off. They had a bye.
I mean, 2 weeks ago when they won their last game.
They beat the Rams and they beat Seattle.
Right. The Seattle win was a nice win, but they so I'll give them that. That's a decent win because Seattle's played pretty well. But their offense still doesn't look good. They're one-dimensional because they can't run. And, the Browns, obviously their biggest weakness is the run defense. And the Buccaneers, I don't know if they can take advantage of it. As bad as the Browns' run defense is, the Bucs have not run it well. The Bengals had been a team that hadn't run it well, and the Browns' defense played well against them. And the Bucs run it the least in the league. They're not effectively running the ball. I think they're going to struggle. I think it's going to be a close game. It's a 3-point game. I don't think the Bucs are. I think they're even teams. I do. I like the Browns I think it's gonna be a field goal game either way. I think if they lose, it'll be close. That's how I see it.
You Bush?
For some reason, I'm actually a little optimistic about this game. You know, sometimes in football, you just got a little bit of a gut feeling. And, you know, when I watch the Buccaneers play, I've watched them a few times this year. And like Bull said, they haven't done anything that's crazy. I got a bunch of them on my fantasy teams, and hasn't done much. Mike Evans hasn't done much. Godwin looks like he's lost a couple steps. And the offense is bogged down. Now, what I do believe is they got a pretty athletic defense and give you some problems. But when you look at it, the Browns are at home. It's one game before Deshaun Watson comes back, and I just think there's going to be an unnatural bump for that event, because I think in the locker room, for the first time, you know, they'll be preaching, "Hey, some light at the end of the tunnel. It's something there, guys. We get a quarterback back. We get an opportunity. It's just like the day before Christmas. You know, you may be sick on Christmas Day, but you get to still open them toys, right? You still get to, you know, have some fun. So you're not as sick as you usually would be if you didn't have it. If it was a Christmas or a holiday or special event. So I think they'll get a little bump from that. I also think that they'll play freer. I think they'll play with a little more exuberance. And I think Jacoby Brissett, this being his last game, I think he'll come out and play really, really well. They'll kind of want to send him out on top. And I actually got, you know, this game as a toss-up. If the Browns can make a couple plays here or there, and ironically, Donovan Peoples-Jones has been playing really well, catching the football. Amari Cooper played well, and I think David Njoku will come back and be a little more healthier and be in his game plan. And plus, we saw the screen game again. I mean, how often do we watch the Browns a couple years ago in 2020 where the screen game, Kevin Stefanski was able to pull these screens out of his back pocket and all of a sudden dial up these plays where they were really big parts of what the offense is. I think all those things will work, so I think the Browns have a fair shot in this game.
Yeah, I think we know a few things for sure, and there's still a lot up in the air. Here's what we do know. The Browns can't stop the run. We also know Tampa Bay does not only not run the ball when they do, they're not very successful at it. They're dead last in the league in rushing percentage as far as play calls. They're also dead last in the league in rushing yards per game. So it's a weakness versus a weakness. We'll see which team caves. G, I agree with you, though, on the fact that with Brissett's last game being tomorrow, or Sunday, excuse me, I think we're going to kind of see this team rally around him because he's played so far above expectations through the first 10 games of the year. I think the team's going to kind of come together and say, you know what, Jacoby, you did everything you were asked of.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't think you were going to do anything like this. And now that we're here, let's give you an opportunity to send you off on the highest note humanly possible. And that is something I hope Stefanski kind of plays to. But this Tampa Bay defense is legit. It is good. And Bull, I know you watch all the games, as much football as anyone I know. How do you think this Tampa Bay defense and their speed kind of matches up with the strength of the Browns, which is more of a power style offense?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the Browns' offensive line. They have not been as good last couple of weeks. It's kind of under the radar a little bit because the defense has been such a problem that I don't think we know the offensive line is good when right. But, you're now down to like fourth string center, maybe going to have your fifth string center. We know that Wyatt Teller's missed some time due to injury. I didn't see his PFF grade on this last game, but I wonder if he didn't, it didn't seem like he was playing quite as well. I don't know. You're not watching every offensive lineman.
I'll tell you right now, Bull. Keep going. I'll pull it up.
And so I am a little concerned about that. But, Tampa Bay is just not the same team that they were the last couple of years. And, they were a team that were more balanced because Fournette was good the last couple of years. And they played great defense, and they were hard to run against. But, they're not as strong defensively as they've been. So I think, but what balances that out is my concern for the Browns' offensive line, and overall the Browns' run game has been a little less potent the last couple of weeks. So that's going to be an important part of the game. Can they get that offensive line going again, thus get the running game going again, and be more balanced? Because, frankly, they've been more of a pass-heavy team because I think they've needed to be. A, Jacoby's played pretty well, but B, they haven't been able to run as effectively the last couple of weeks, surprisingly. And part of it's that there's 8 in the box all the time, and part of it's the offensive line hasn't been as good.
And I think they'll ratchet it up. I think, and we kind of asked throughout the year, what is Kevin Stefanski going to do with the offense? How is he going to run? What's the difference between what he's doing with Jacoby Brissett and what he'll do with Deshaun Watson? I think under on the sneak tip, I think he's been ratcheting the pass up. I think you might come back and see Deshaun Watson throwing the ball a whole lot.
Oh yeah,
it may be a passing team, and I think he'll be even more encouraged because he's saying, "Well, I got Donovan Peoples-Jones and Amari Cooper. I want to see what this looks like." And I think you may see this week be the most pass heavy that we've seen the Browns in anticipation of Deshaun Watson coming back as well.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but you saw it. I don't know if you saw this, G. I can't remember now.
I didn't.
All right, so I have 2 fantasy leagues that I'm in that are like big time leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in one of them's a keeper league, but in the other one, my team's not that good in that one. But in my other one, where we redraft every year, and it's a big league, our trade deadline was Wednesday night at midnight. And I was working the phones, I was working the texts, and at 10 p.m. Wednesday night, I pulled off a trade for the great Nick Chubb. So I need Nick Chubb. I need no pitch counts the final 6-7 weeks. I need him to get the ball more. I'm going to be like you and Jay screaming, get him more.
I got hit Nick Chubb in one of my leagues, but then I pulled a blockbuster trade. About a couple weeks ago. I went and I said, give me. I traded Lamar Jackson.
Oh boy.
Although
he has not been that good fantasy wise since September.
No. I traded him for Joe Mixon,
and
Deshaun Watson.
That's an interesting trade. Now Joe Mixon might not play this week.
I know he got hurt.
Yeah, he's got a concussion.
But
did you pick up Samaje Perine?
No, I did not. I did not. I picked up Curtis Samuel.
Okay.
Well, he's a good pickup too. Bull, to answer your question about Keller's PFF grade. 42.6. He was 17th out of 19 offensive players.
All right, so I was right about that. It didn't seem like he was. I think, and I'm not in the business of giving passes for injuries. It probably factored in there. But, I mean, you talk about the interior of the Browns' offensive line has been a major strength. Bitonio, I'm sure, still had a good grade, is my guess.
Yeah,
he never has a bad grade. He's still playing great. But what was the center's grade? The guy who
And Haagen-Dazs went out, didn't he?
And
Haagen-Dazs is not playing.
So now they're down to their 5th. Oh, is that definite?
Yeah, that's already.
I haven't seen anything to indicate.
And I don't think he played well at center last week.
But here's the offensive line grades last week. Chris Hubbard, he only played 8
we don't
snaps,
care about
not
him.
going to count him. Batonio was a 68.
Which is low for him.
Which is
very
low for him. Will's 63.
Average.
Conklin 63.
Average.
Pochich only played 2 snaps, doesn't count. Haagen-Dazs was a 50.
Bad.
And Teller was a 42.6.
That's bad. So...
And James Hudson, who did play 17 snaps.
Oh, jeez.
Lord.
Which is
man.
Rough. And you go back, guys, when we look going back to the Miami game.
Yeah.
Going back to the Buffalo game. And I don't remember if it was before, but at least the last 2. And this is really when Teller's come back and been playing kind of hurt. We've seen Chubb get hit in the backfield more than I remembered in the first 9 games of the season combined. And there was a couple times in I know you texted in the group, Chubb got lit up against Miami on a play. He just got absolutely demolished.
Like I've never seen before.
And you never see him get hit like that. And the guy came through the offensive line. He avoided a block. And next thing you know, Chubb was on his back. No chance to break a tackle. 0.0 yards after contact. And I am curious if it is the mixing match of the center.
It's finally catching up, right?
It's finally catching up. And it's tough to overcome that many injuries, especially in the interior of your offensive line with the quarterback. Watson may change that because he's a little more mobile. Brissett has made a couple nice runs, but he does look like he's running in slow motion. And he looks like a dad tiptoeing around Legos on the floor after his kid spilt the box. he can scramble. He's not mobile, but I do really think that the constant mixing and matching of guys in the interior is really taking its toll on how effective the Browns have been.
I don't think there's any doubt, G, and as a former defensive lineman, you could speak to this because, like, when you start getting pressure through the middle, that's just a killer. And the Browns are not used to that because they've been so strong up the middle for so many years. And when you got a center who's not, they don't have, at this point, they don't have a capable center. And, maybe who's going to play? Michael Dunn? Is he playing this week? I can't even remember who's playing center this week.
And I thought he was injured last week.
And he was injured last week.
No, I think Dunn's hurt, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. I don't even know. It's like their sixth center. I don't know. But
I'm gonna go on ESPN.
They signed somebody from Miami.
I mean, it's good. Listen, it's not the odds that this guy's going to play well are not high. Teller's not playing well right now. It's an issue. I mean, getting that quick pressure through the middle, especially when you're not used to it because you're used to that protection, gee, that's a big deal.
Yeah, because
okay, real quick, G, before you go, Michael Dunn's on IR, so he's not playing.
Yeah.
Haagen-Dazs is still questionable.
Okay.
And if he doesn't play, Greg Mance, who they just signed off the Texans practice squad, will be the starting center on Sunday.
Dude, how bad are you that you couldn't play? You couldn't make the Texans roster, the worst roster in the league.
Yeah, you was on the practice squad, dog.
Yeah.
When you watch the Browns play, one of the things that they can do is when they're running zone plays. First of all, they always have the backside cutback always available, because either way, when you're cutting it back, you're usually going to cut it back maybe at the end, maybe one or two gaps. So if it starts off front side B gap, you're cutting it back to the backside A gap. Obviously, you have Teller and you have Batonio, and you usually have a great center in there, either or. And so that gives you the cutback lane available. And you're able to get downhill, So even if they tackle you before you actually make and declare where the ball is going to declare, whether it's going to stay front side or go backside, the great thing about it is you already have 2-3 yards by the time they've already declared because no one's hit you. And then we're used to Nick Chubb also getting hit or making somebody miss, and he'll get 2-3 more yards. So you're looking at 6 yards, even if the play don't really hit like that. It could be a play where it's just a regular run play. So that kind of messes you up a little bit. So now what you're going to have to do is, we haven't seen it in a while, but they're going to have to do things that are a little more, I would say, they mask the reason you can't really run the ball, right?
Yeah.
You have to do some things. The screen game came back last week. Jet motion. I did see Anthony Schwartz back on the field. I don't know if he's going to be doing anything, but I did see Anthony Schwartz sighting. And then guess what? I hate to say it. The read option and the RPO stuff will be back with Deshaun Watson, even though we've never really seen it. So that could be in the playbook as well if they can't really run the ball.
By the way, guys, hold on one second. Yep. Let me just make a correction here. Greg Mans was actually taken off the Bills practice squad, so that's a little better.
He played with Watson in Houston.
He did. In fact, he's 10 years in the league almost. Well, not 10, but he's been in the league a while. He's 30 years old, and he has started a lot of. He's actually started 32 games in the NFL and played in 64. So at least he has some experience. And he went to Toledo. He's a Mac guy like you.
Shout out to Toledo.
All right, so two things before we move on to the Cavs here real quick.
Yeah.
If anyone who's watching in the chat has any questions you want us to answer, we're going to answer 2 or 3 questions at the end of the show from you guys. So drop them in there. I will do my best to keep an eye on them.
At the end of the show? Why don't we answer them now? I'm not going to be at the end of the show.
I want to give them a few seconds to come in. If they think of something, we're going to go. We're going to end with some viewer interaction here. But let's get some picks. We're talking Cavs in a sec. Let's get some picks here. Bull, the Browns and Jacoby Brissett's tenure on a high note, or do they head into Watson's beginning of his era on a 3-game losing streak?
I got the Browns winning 31-30. High scoring, close game. Take the over. Yeah, 31-30.
I actually, for the first time in a lot of weeks, I actually had the Browns winning this game. Ooh. Can't really tell you what, why, or what, when, or how. I got them winning the game 33-31. They kind of stopped the Buccaneers on a last-second play that could have led to a field goal. Browns sack Tom Brady. Time runs out. 33-31. Browns win.
Do you guys want me to say what I was going to say before you answered, or should I say
go. What do you
who
you like?
The people want me to say. Well, I think the Browns are going to win, and that means all three of us think the Browns are going to win. Which we can just jinx the Browns win. Tampa's going to win. So
that's crazy.
But I do think I don't think it's as high scoring as you guys. I think it's a 24-20 game. Cleveland wins. I do think they're able to run the ball. I think Nick Chubb gets back on track. He's been so not underutilized, but he's been so held in check the last 2 games. I think he's just too good to have 3 games in a row where he's relatively ineffective. So I like the Browns rushing attack to be able to attack Tampa Bay. And I also think, Bull, as you said earlier, I think the Bucs are fool's gold. I just don't think they're that good. At the end of the day, I don't think they're that good. So I think Cleveland can pull out a win here.
By the way, last week we all picked the Browns to lose, and they still lost. So I don't,
Todd is the one that went the opposite way. But
Cleveland 2022 says delusional Cleveland media every Friday. I mean, Garrett hasn't picked the Browns to win in a month.
Weeks. It's been weeks, and I've been predicting they're gonna get beat bad.
Yeah.
And I have not been enjoying doing the shows like talking about the Browns. So I mean, I don't. We don't talk ourselves into it. Actually, me and Jay laugh about how delusional some people are, and we are when we talk each other into it. By midweek, we find little ways that the Browns are going to win. No. We're not delusional when it comes to that.
3 questions real quick before we go.
Let's do it.
All right, Frank Bennett wants to know one name only. Who do you want as new defensive coordinator next year? I know it's a tough question because they didn't even fired.
I'll say Mike Zimmer.
Zimmer?
I'm fine with Zimmer or Flores.
Flores is the name that I would go with as well. This is from Key Hook. How hurt is Jesse James, and do you think he can do a better job than Harrison Bryant?
I don't think Harrison Bryant is that big of an issue. Like he didn't get his feet in bounds last week. It's not like he's has holding penalties or anything. I don't think he's that big of a problem. He's a backup tight end. Jesse James is probably, same backup. Noah Brown, same backup. They'll rotate in and catch the ball when needed. Now, I do think David Njoku will be upgraded because when Deshaun Watson comes back, he'll look for him a little more. But other than that, I don't think Harrison Bryant's that big of a deal. I don't know what you guys think.
Guys, I honestly forgot Jesse James was on the Browns. I was thinking, why would people ask about Jesse James, the Steeler? He played like 17 snaps for the Browns in the first 2 weeks, but hasn't played since then. I don't care about Jesse James. Harrison Bryant showed a lot of promise last year, and he hasn't done much this year. I have no reason to give up on him. I mean, I don't think the difference between Harrison Bryant and Jesse James is going to matter in this game.
Yeah, it's not.
Last one before we go on to the Cavs. Do you think the philosophy is we score so much the other team couldn't run and that backfired?
Say that again, Mike.
Do you guys here? I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the philosophy is we would score so much the other team couldn't run and that backfired?
I don't really understand what do you mean? Just like in general?
He asked it 3 times, so I want to make sure we got it. I don't understand the question.
I don't really understand the question. I don't think I don't think is that
I think the Browns philosophy is always score a ton of points.
Everybody's philosophy is to score a ton of points.
So I think he's saying, do you think our philosophy was to come out, get to a fast start, put a bunch of points on the board, and then that means the other team by default couldn't, invest in a running game because they were behind?
Yeah, I think every team wants to score a ton of points early.
Yeah, of course. I don't think the Browns went into the season thinking they were going to have some magnificent offense with Jacoby Brissett. Like they were going to have some elite offense with him. No, I don't think that was their philosophy. Everybody wants to get a lead, of course.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of hard to do it like when you're a traditional running team because that means every play you're going to have to go out there, you're going to have to score. And so it's very hard for the Cleveland Browns as constituted to get teams behind 21-0 because of their running the ball and running play action. That's just not something. They got to have longer sustained drives. They don't have too many big shot plays. So, no, I don't think that backfired on them. I think that, their offense is limited. Other teams have their best players. It's a throwing league, and it's kind of hard for the Browns to get people down. They're naturally going to play, very close games, and we've seen it. They just haven't gone their way.
Guys, did you see the?
Hop on in a few minutes.
But before we get to Tyvis, before we get to the Cavs, did you guys see the quick video of twice benched Baker Mayfield being asked about his former team, and he was like, "Oh," he started talking about Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, your other former team."
It was a good answer.
It was kind of funny.
All right, let's talk a little Cavs here. Tyvis will hop on any second. Big game against the Bucs tonight. They lost to Milwaukee the first time these two teams matched up last week. It wasn't particularly close, but there was no Jared Allen in that game. Allen is back. Guys, feeling good about the Cavs tonight?
G, go ahead.
Yeah. I feel really good about the Cavs. Over the last 3 or 4 games, I've seen Darius Garland have the ball in his hands, and then shout out to Jason Lloyd. He was correcting that. He said that on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show a little bit ago. He talked about how the fix was getting the ball in Darius Garland's hand, having Donovan Mitchell work off the ball a little more. And I will say this: we'll visit this in another couple years or so. But I think when you have 2 dominant guards like we have, I'm going to actually say that I think Jared Allen's offensive game might be closer to Evan Mobley's. His offensive game is a little more limited. He's not as I would say he doesn't have the range that Evan Mobley has, but around the rim, left hand jump hook, right hand jump hook, pump fake, up and unders. Jared Allen is efficient under there. He's very efficient.
And he was good. He was good with the Nets. And as someone who's followed the Nets since I was 3 years old, it still baffles me that they traded him in the first place. I know they couldn't pay him the money.
That was a great trade by the Cavs.
Cleveland did, but it was an absolute steal by Kobe Altman. We're going to bring Tyvis in 1 sec because he is Giannis's #1 fan. And when you see his name, guys, just ignore it. Just let Tyvis get it. Well, I'm going to let you say your stuff before we bring in Tyvis. I see him laughing in the corner. Tyvis, we see you. I know you hear us. We'll get to you in a sec. Bull.
Yeah, let me give you some. So injury-wise, no Kevin Love today.
Yep.
No Karis LeVert today. He's out. He's got an ankle sprain. And Lamar Stevens, who since going to the starting lineup, the team has played better with him out there. He's probably not going to play. He's doubtful. He's got a non-COVID illness. The Bucs, we talked about who the Cavs didn't have last time. The Bucs didn't have Drew Holiday. He's probable tonight. And Pat Connaughton, who didn't play, is questionable. So he could be back as well. So that factors in. So obviously with no Kevin Love and no LeVert, your bench is really thin tonight.
Really thin.
Right? So and no Stevens. So 3 of your top 8 or 9 guys, 10 guys, whatever, are not available. Now, your 4 best players are all available, so that's important. I think, the Cavs had the 5-game losing streak. They won 8 in a row, lost 5 in a row. Now they've won 4 in a row. This is their toughest challenge since they've ended this losing streak. They're on the road against Milwaukee. And I feel like they're going to come out. I think, JB was hard on them. He was ripping into them, which I love, right? That's my, I've defended Stefanski. I don't like that he's never says anything, never rips into the guys at all. I know it's a different sport, but JB is not afraid. You don't have to call him out by name, right? Just like Stefanski doesn't have to say, well, Myles Garrett is this or that. You don't have to call him out by name, but as a group, JB was calling him out during the losing streak. We're playing like we've already earned something. We're not playing hard. We're coming out. I can't remember the exact word he used about they were playing arrogant or something like that.
Dogs, they turn into fat cats.
Right. And
which is a great line, by the way.
It was a great line, and I think, these are young players. The Cavs are a really young team. And I think they took to the coaching well, took to the call out well, and they've been playing with a little more energy here. And I expect them to be very motivated against Milwaukee because, as one of you guys said, I can't remember which one of you guys said this, Milwaukee smacked them around last game. So, you don't want to get embarrassed. And if you don't play an A game, like the Cavs can play an A game and still lose. You're at Milwaukee. I mean, that's how good they are. But if you don't play your A game, you got no shot. You're going to get run off the court again. So hopefully they'll come out super energized and play a great game. I think they will.
I got 1 point, and then we'll bring Tyvis in, and we'll give him 30 seconds on Giannis. Then we'll talk a little Ohio State, Michigan. G-Bush, you alluded to what Jason said earlier this week about having Darius Garland be the point guard of this team and having Mitchell play off the ball. I think that's a lot of what offensively this team can do. And Lamar Stevens has been a godsend at the 3 for them, putting LeVert on the bench, allowing LeVert to do what he does best, which is create with the ball in his hands. Stevens just plays defense. He rebounds. He hustles. He's a junkyard dog to the maximum. And he fits in with the 4 they have because he's just a guy that doesn't need the ball to be effective on the court. The one thing I'm watching tonight is how they decide to guard Giannis, though. Stevens did it last time. LeVert is the natural guy they put on him. They don't love Mobley guarding him for 48 minutes just because of the physicality. Allen can't stay with him on the outside. Are we going to see Dean Wade on Giannis for 30 minutes? Like, that's a matchup that heavily favors our guy Tyvis. Tyvis, are you still there? You're going in and out here, man. Don't lose us now,
Denzel Washington Jr.
I know. And look, I'm glad he's frozen. He's got to log out and log back in. We'll get Tyvis back.
I've seen his bars.
It must be the 4th spot. Jay couldn't get in. Now Tyvis can't get in.
No,
there he is.
There your bars. Your bars is better.
Hi, guys.
Listen, if Giannis is guarded by Dean Wade all night, Tyvis, how many points is Giannis going off for?
I think they did a great job of guarding Giannis the last time. When they played him in Cleveland, Giannis didn't have no great game. I think he only had like 20 points, maybe, or something like that. So I'm not expecting him to obviously he's gonna have to try to get some get back, and it's very hard to do that. But I like the Cavs' chances. I like how they played him last game. Obviously, he's gonna watch the tape, see what they did, and he's gonna counter it. But listen, you got to make that man shoot. He said that God has blessed him with a great family. He can go to the lane, he's dominant. He just can't shoot threes, and that's just what it is. So you got to force him to do such a thing.
Mike, don't you have to put Mobley? Like, why can't you put Mobley on him? You said they want to do that. Why not? Mobley's supposed to be an elite defender. Why can't we put him on him?
I agree.
Listen, I think
he ain't been in no
theoretically
weight
speaking,
room yet.
yes, you put Mobley on him, but there's a physicality difference between Giannis and
But
everyone
won't
else
this
in
be?
the world, and Mobley.
But won't this be a great learning experience for him to have to defend Giannis?
I agree.
Yeah.
Certain people you don't learn nothing against. You just got beat. There's no learning against Kareem or LeBron. When LeBron puts his shoulder down, to this day, you can't do anything. And Giannis is like, he's the. I'm not gonna say he's better than LeBron at getting to the basket, but when he get his shoulders turned, I mean, he does. It's just a wrap. Like, Evan Mobley is giving away probably what, 40, 50 pounds.
If I'm Mobley, I want it. I want him.
The last time they played, Jared Allen didn't play, right?
Right.
No.
Jared Allen did not play, and Lamar Stevens guarded Giannis for the majority of that game. Stevens, as Bull just told us, is doubtful for tonight.
Well, at least you'll have at least a rim protector be down there to help. But then again, you know, if Jared is on Brook gonna be spot up at the 3-point line. So
that's another thing.
And Brook made 7 threes last time too.
Yeah, and that, you brought up that's a great point. With the Milwaukee Bucks, you have to look at it like this. They're bullies at each one of their positions. It's kind of backwards. Their center is a finesse guy now. He shoots a lot of threes, so that brings your rim protector from underneath the rim and puts him on the perimeter. Then when they got Drew Holiday is a physical player. He's posted up guards. He's going to have a mismatch if he posts up on, if he's on Garland. So now I think Donovan Mitchell matches up better with him. But with no Stevens out, you got Dean Wade on Giannis.
You got to go back high school. You got to go 2-3 zone, man. It is.
Stop. Zone does not work in the NBA for a long period of time.
You got to, man. You got to listen. They shooters ain't. Now, Connaughton, you say Pat Connaughton might be back. Okay, he is sniper. He a sniper. He a sniper. So
they shoot the ball well. They got Middleton who shoots it well.
Middleton's not playing.
No, Middleton's still out.
Well, I'm just saying the way their team is constructed, they have shooters.
They have shooters. Yeah, that's dangerous. Also, for everyone saying I sound like crap, I'm in my childhood bedroom with no mic. So I apologize. The acoustics in here, we're not built to be a studio.
But you know what, guys?
We are making it. The
bottom line is if you get beat by Lopez shooting threes, I know he shot him well this year. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, I'd rather lose forcing Lopez to shoot threes than give Giannis easy baskets.
I agree with that statement because, I mean, it ain't guaranteed Brook going to be on that night. He could be off. But Giannis, if he gets to that cup, it's very seldom that he's missing. So, 2-3 zone.
Giannis
old school Syracuse, right?
Tyvis. Giannis is the Marvin Harrison Jr. of the NBA. He's just too big, too strong, too physical for anyone to match up one-on-one with. So I'm going to transition like that.
Wait a
Is
second.
anyone
Hold
Michigan?
on. Did you just compare? Even
Yes.
I would say the guy who's the
Yes.
best player in the NBA now to a college football player.
The best player in college football. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Bull. I'm so happy that you said that you finally, seen the light.
I've always thought he was the best. Well, not always, but I do think he's the best player now. He's not better than LeBron all time.
No, not yet.
But he's definitely the best player in the NBA now.
Okay.
But
you
can't compare him to a college football player. That's ridiculous, Mikey.
Marvin Harrison Jr. College football
wait
is to
a minute,
what Giannis
McNuggets.
is to the NBA.
Let G about to tell me who the best player in the NBA is. Go ahead.
The best right now, the best player in the NBA is Giannis. Like that's
We
not
all
even.
agree.
Now here's the
I wanted to
thing.
hear y'all say it. I wanted to be on record. That's why I made
Hey,
it.
I ain't got no problem with that. Here's what I will say. Marvin Harrison Jr. to me. Now you got to think about it like this. We are a prisoner of the moment. If you said who better, him or Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson or JSN, that's a toss up, bro. That ain't no like runaway. Like them cats is good. Like all four of them, and we just ain't seen Jackson Smith and Jigba in a while. So it's like Marvin Harrison is the guy, but.
But he's still in college. He's got to prove something in the NFL.
You know what you got to be in college to be able to like call yourself the LeBron. Now look, I'm trying to think of a college player who could. It had to be someone like Tebow.
The comparison is this though: Giannis is the biggest, strongest, most physical player in the NBA. He is the best player in the league. Marvin Harrison is bigger, stronger, faster than any other receiver, not only on Ohio State, but in college football, and he's dominated in college football.
You should have compared him to like Chase or Jefferson or something.
No, do you like that now? Do you see what I did? Do you see what I did?
Oh my goodness!
Hey, Tyvis.
Is that big of a deal? Like
Tyvis,
it's not. No. Let's keep it moving.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. Like I sometimes I get in my scouting bag. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know if you've seen Jalen Hyatt.
From Tennessee?
Yeah.
Oh, big play guy. All he do is make big plays.
I saw him. I was like, hold on. Is he open?
Did you see? Hey, Deepos, we're on a play clock tonight. We're not going to get into Tennessee. No offense.
First of all, wait a minute. Dude had Randy Moss numbers against Alabama. Dude had like four touchdowns. But go ahead. We'll go ahead and
we'll talk off the mic on that. That boy's nice.
He is. Tyvis, Ohio State, Michigan, we are a day out. Have your feelings changed since Wednesday at all on how this game's going to play out?
The way that Ohio State plays, if I'm going off of just the way they play this season, obviously the team up north going to pretty much try to keep it close. Ohio State, obviously, athlete for athlete, I think they got them overwhelmed on that one. The weather's supposed to be nice, but it is a chance of rain. If the weather is nice and Ohio State can do everything they want to do, then they should win this game with flying colors. But for some odd reason, they like to play things close and run away in the last 2 minutes of a game. So I'm gonna say they're gonna keep that same recipe and they're gonna win by double-digit points, but it's gonna be late in the fourth quarter when they do it.
G. Bush.
I've been agreeing with Tyvis a lot today. It's scary. They get that Thanksgiving dressing and stuff. Black people get all that food in them, and we be like, "Oh yeah, man, we all the same people." This is gonna be a close game. I think the thing that separates Michigan from Ohio State is just the simple fact that Ohio State, when it comes down to the come down, they can get passes and move the chains. They can throw the ball to people and actually have a Division I college football passing attack. Michigan, I don't think their offensive passing game is where it needs to be. The receivers, we haven't talked about them at all. And for them to be successful in this game, they actually have to have people catch the football and actually have to move the chains in a long, methodical way. And that'll work for 3 quarters. But when you, like you said, when you got Marvin Harrison that you could just throw it to and you can't do nothing about that, that translates. You know what I'm saying? That translates. That carries. I think Ohio State speed on offense is a different level than Michigan. Michigan in front does have the advantage. I would give them on the offense. I think it's going to come down to a 1, 2, 3 point game. But I think Ohio State makes the plays at home enough to beat Michigan.
Guys, last year the weather was terrible for that game at Michigan, right? It was snowing, it was freezing, it was awful. And that played to the less skilled team. Now, Michigan's a skilled team, but obviously they're less talented than Ohio State. They're more talented than many teams in college football, but not with Ohio State. So, but they were tough, they were physical, they were good at grinding it out, and they had the perfect weather for that situation. Tyvis, you mentioned rain. It was originally in the forecast supposed to rain tomorrow. That's kind of I looked at AccuWeather and Weather Channel, and the rain forecast has been pushed back to tomorrow night. So at noon tomorrow, and again, things could change. As of now, at noon tomorrow, it's supposed to be 48 degrees and sunny. For the last week in November, that's basically perfect weather. I mean, that's nothing. That's perfect. That's what Ohio State wants. And I think, listen, there's no doubt that there have been times this year where Ohio State has not impressed. There's been stretches of play in a lot of their games where they've underwhelmed. But what happens in the end in all these games is that their immense talent advantage eventually takes hold. And that, to me, is going to happen again in this game. I think Michigan hangs in there. I think it's a close game. I think Ohio State is going to pull away late and not only win but cover the 8-point spread. I got them winning by 10 to 14 points in this game. They pull away in the fourth quarter. I don't know if it's to pull away, but they win.
All we need you to put the Buckeye hat on. I got the Buckeyes, baby. Bull has the Buckeyes by 10.
I got a little story for you. Hold on. I got a story for you guys. So I am not from Ohio. I moved here in April to help the show.
No.
I had never had a Buckeye in my life before. And I had a Buckeye from West Side.
You mean like chocolate and peanut butter Buckeye?
Yeah.
Oh,
those are the most bomb, delicious dessert treats of all time. So I'm going to say this with my love of Buckeyes. I don't think this game's going to be close.
Wow.
I think Ohio State is going to jump on them early. I think Blake Corum being injured, you cannot put into words how important he is to that offense. Without him, I don't trust anyone on that team. I've watched Michigan play 4 times this year. I don't like their quarterback. Their receivers don't scare me. I know Ohio State's defense has been iffy, but I think after what happened last year, they will be 100% locked in all phases.
Hey, whoa.
Jim Knowles is ready to come out here and prove, hey, Ryan Day hired me, so this doesn't happen. I'm going to show y'all why I'm going to win the top assistant coach in the country award this year. I can't think of the award it is, but he's going to win it. And I think this is by halftime. We'll be in the group chat saying, you guys ready to hop on the post-game show now?
Listen,
by halftime,
Tyvis, is this Kool-Aid? Tyvis, is this Kool-Aid we drinking right now?
I understand why he says that because, the Blake Corum being gone, and I think the backup running back was not even available last week. So both of their 2 top running backs is out. If they do have to go down to their third string and it's in J.J. McCarthy's hands, he's not going to be the one to win the game. However, I think the way that Ohio State's schedule was set up, it favors them. They went up against quarterbacks already that was mobile. Now, obviously, some of them may not be as skillful as J.J. McCarthy, but I don't think he has the weapons either. I mean, only receiver that sticks out from the team up north is Ronnie Bell, and he only got 2 touchdowns. I think he has 600 yards.
So why do you think it'll be close then? After hearing all that,
because it usually is. I've been in this game, and even though we was like head to toe, just athletically, it shouldn't even be close. They find a way to get it done and stick in the games. It's a lot. Those records things really don't. Oh my Lord.
There she is.
Yo, hey.
Hi.
What's up, baby girl?
Hi.
She stole my shine last time.
Hey, this dude, get up out of here. He gonna have a conversation with her. Hey, man, you was hating today. You was hating again. I thought we talked about this, bro.
Look at him.
Anyways, it's just something about that when it's a rivalry and people play up more. They play aside themselves. They are better than what they usually are. So I think that plays a part into it.
But do you think after what happened last year, Tyvis, that Ohio State knows coming in, hey, we got embarrassed last year. We're out
no
here to
doubt.
Make a statement. Like I do think that really does play a factor.
Yeah,
so screw anything that Michigan's doing. Like this is all about Ohio State tomorrow. About Ohio State, and I think they're gonna come out and prove to the country, hey, I know we didn't look good against Maryland. I know Northwestern was ugly, but don't sleep on us. Do not. Right now it's Georgia and everyone else. I think tomorrow is a legitimate statement game for the Buckeyes.
It'd be nice for that to happen, but it's only one game this season that you can pick and say from the time the ball kicked off to the time it ended that Ohio State just dominated that game, and that was Indiana. That was the only game that they done that. So
when it happens, you come in next Wednesday with a box of Buckeyes for me, all right?
You say what?
Not next Wednesday when Ohio State jumps out to an early lead, it's over by halftime. You owe me a box of Buckeyes.
This dude done finessed himself into some Buckeyes. Nobody bet you. Nobody bet you no Buckeyes.
Hey, by the way, Mike, Tyvis, you're right. Michigan's backup running back is hurt. And so if their backup running back got hurt against Nebraska, so it's possible that both he and Corum might not play. If that happens, their third running back is a true freshman. Imagine being a true freshman and being the starting running back in this game. That's a lot of pressure.
That's crazy a little bit.
And for the record, for everyone at Corum, by the way, is a Heisman candidate. PFF grades for running backs, take it how you want. He is the highest graded running back season so far that they've ever graded in college football. Ever graded. Wow. 96.2 on the season.
I mean, he's nice.
I know. I'm saying for him either being hampered or hurt.
I know a lot of Ohio State fans won't feel this way, but I kind of think it sucks that he's hurt because don't you want to beat a team at their best, right?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted them to be 100% healthy.
Yeah, so no excuses.
You don't get. Listen, you don't get no points. Like if you want to be out, hey, that's what we recruit for, dog. My heart goes out to you.
He's gonna play. Like Blake is gonna play.
Yeah, he's gonna play.
Yeah, like if you got a pulse in your body, you gotta play.
But he got the high. Now listen, I didn't watch Reggie Bush play. I didn't watch Adrian Peterson at Oklahoma play. And I'm just saying, bro. Yeah, I didn't even watch Maurice Claret play. Like, them is like, these is backs. Like, I don't know. These is backs. Reggie Bush was
you don't see Blake like that?
Man, Reggie Bush was running around in circles and going to the house every play. Like
he was a video game. He was a cheat code for sure.
I'm confused, bro.
Every time Reggie touched the ball, it was a touchdown.
Man, Michigan didn't have guys like Tyrone Wheatley. They didn't had A-Train. They didn't had a lot of dudes. I don't know. Corum's nice, but I mean, whatever floats your boat.
Guys, the best college football season ever was to me Barry Sanders in 1988.
Agreed.
I wasn't even alive.
You know how many yards he had rushing that year? Take a guess.
2,200.
Bless you.
He had 2,600 yards rushing in 11 games.
And wait, hold on. I thought it was 2,200. Dang, he had 2,600.
I think it's 26, and he had like 30 touchdowns too.
The best running back year I've ever seen was Ezekiel Elliott in 2014.
Yeah,
that dude was on another level.
In the playoffs, yes.
The last three games, I was like, dude, crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to make some picks, guys. Boy, you want to start us off? Tyvis, you could wrap us up here with the picks. What's your official pick? Ohio State, Michigan. Bull.
Official pick, Ohio State 42, Michigan 30.
G. Bush.
I think this is a lower scoring affair. Buckeyes win 24-19.
I'm going to go Buckeyes 45, Michigan 20.
I got Buckeyes 35, team up north 24.
There we go. So we're all picking Ohio State. We have picked the Browns, Ohio State. Let's get a Cavs pick real quick, then we'll wrap up. Cavs win tonight, Bull?
Yes. I'm going 3-0 for the local teams this weekend.
Is it
Milwaukee. Game's in Milwaukee.
I'm taking Milwaukee. I'm not going to lie. I'm taking Milwaukee.
Don't lie. Why would you lie?
G. Bush?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucs, but I think I'll tell them to take the Bucs at the crib. I'm gonna take them, and but I do think Donovan Mitchell has 37. I think Darius Garland gets 31. But Giannis is too much down the backstretch. Lamar Stevens actually turned out to be a little more than we thought. I got the Bucs winning a close game by 4.
Oh man,
Denzel Jr. Who wins?
Denzel Jr.
I got the Bucs win. Listen, Giannis didn't have a good game the first time. That's on his mind. He gonna come out and he gonna play tonight. However, I don't think Brook Lopez is hitting 7 threes, but they're gonna do just enough to edge him. I got the Bucs winning. I say it's about a 5-point game.
All right,
guys, before we go, Mikey, you got an update on the Browns. Haagen-Dazs was back practicing today, so it looks like he will start at center.
Okay.
And Greg Newsome, who missed last week with a concussion, is still out. So I'm assuming if he's out today with a concussion, he's probably not playing on Sunday.
Well, thanks for the update, Bo. This is the first ever post-UCSS Thanksgiving show. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, become members for the exclusive overtime content. We are doing 2 post-game shows this weekend. We're doing a post-game show for the Buckeyes-Michigan game. We're also doing a post-game show for the Browns-Buccaneers game on Sunday. We're back in studio Monday for normal scheduled programming. Become a member, subscribe, follow us on social media. For Bull, G. Bush, and Denzel Jr., it's McNuggets. We will see y'all tomorrow afternoon. Go Bucs, go Browns.